Hi again, and welcome to another poetic journey for kids. And today we're going to do a kind of poetic thinking. And I usually do tell people, especially people who are having trouble writing, I often ask, "What's happening?" And they'll say, "I'm thinking." And I say, "Oh, no, don't think. Whatever you do, don't think." Of course, I mean that only halfway. There's a kind of thinking that we need to do, but it's different from figuring things out. It's feeling things out. And today we're going to do a little experiment that I call naming the world. And it should be a lot of fun for you out there at home because you've got a world full of things. But I want you to first think about this. When anyone discovers or invents something new, they get to name it. So, even if you are a scientist, a rocket scientist, an astronomer, a deep sea scientist, a mathematician who comes up with a new idea, a new way to look at numbers, if you discover something, let's say, I used to think that everything was discovered, actually. I mean, I don't think people have quite that same bad idea anymore, but because it turns out we're discovering new things all the time, new species of flowers and bugs, and a lot of bugs, actually, things under the ground. I read that just in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California a couple of years ago, 50 new species were found. And so there's people are always discovering and inventing too. So whatever your life, wherever your life takes you, you will have a moment. My guess is that you will have a moment that you'll need to be a poet. And the reason I say that is because when you have to invent your name, most names, if you really look at them, many of the names that we have for things are based on a kind of poetic similarity, the way one thing reminds us of something else. So, for example, we have a fish called a clownfish, right? I think most of you know that's Nemo's species. Why do they call that fish a clownfish? I mean, it doesn't have a red nose, it doesn't have a striped hat or fluffy collar. So, why do they call it a clownfish? Yeah, it looks a little dressed like a clown. It's like a fish. We still see the fish dressed a little bit like a clown. If you try to imagine a man walking down the street with a suit with 3 big orange stripes, we might think a clown. What about the ladybug? Right, the ladybug. So, not all those bugs are ladies, no. But if you look close, not just at the bug, but at the little pattern in the bug, right? It's polka dotted. It's red with black polka dots, most of them. I think there's other colors, actually. And even the boys have that, but it looks a little like a dress, a polka dotted dress. Good. It doesn't look exactly like it. That's what I'm trying to help us see. We could do it this way too. If you look at my hair, we might have come across this before. Sometimes people say my hair looks a little like popcorn. So they call me Ms. Popcorn in some schools. Or, yeah, the lady whose hair looks like popcorn. But that's not the way to say it. If you're a poet, you put them together. So you get the popcorn lady, who doesn't sell popcorn. She looks like popcorn. All right, now we are going to pretend, which is where good poetry starts. We're going to pretend that we are on a ship together, and we have sent our divers down, and they've gone down deep into the sea and brought things back up. And now we're looking through them, and we, of course, have a computer on board like we do these days. And we're looking to see, has anybody ever discovered this before? Because if they didn't, we get to name it. And we've come up with this, which, it turns out, has never been named yet. We're pretending. I'm sure it has a name. Now, we have to look at it and see, what does it remind us of? The zebra, a zebra shell. Notice when I say that, we don't just see a zebra and we don't just see a shell. We see a zebra and a shell in one thing. So it makes it kind of magic, like the shell has turned into a zebra or the zebra has turned into a shell. Let's try another one. What if we look at it this way? What does that look like? So it can be the colors, but it can also be parts of the shape. Yeah, it kind of looks like a horse's mane, a trimmed horse's mane or a zebra's mane. We did zebra already though. So the horse's mane shell, we put them both together. What if we hold it like this? The hurricane shell, the tornado shell. It's always good to add a detail, remember, what kind, the brown and white, and not just a brown and white shell, because that tells us what it looks like, but it doesn't do that magic game we're playing. It doesn't bring the shell together with the hurricane. The brown and white hurricane shell. Ooh, the ice cream cone shell, the giant, what flavor would it be? The giant chocolate chip ice cream cone shell. All right, good. We'll try a couple more. How about, I just found this recently on a walk, and I thought it was perfect for this idea. I mean, what does that look like to you? I see the broken-hearted flower, nut. I think these are kind of nuts, or acorn. The broken-hearted acorn. Oh, the earthquake nut. A bouquet of earthquake nuts. You get it? Good. All right, let's try another one. How about this one? Now, sometimes we know what things are, and we're going to have to pretend we don't, which is part of what makes this interesting. So let's say you have somehow, in your wonderful farming skills, grown a plant that gave us this. Now, it's an onion, and we call it a red onion. I don't know if that's the best name for it, really. We could call it the Jupiter onion. I like it. The Mars is red, right? The Mars onion. We could call it, oh, look at this, reminds me, there's a there's a bird called a quail that has a little top knot like that. We could call it the quail onion. The ruby red quail onion. Ooh, the ruby onion. Ruby's a kind of stone. So, okay. We're going to play a little more. Now, I want you to see, for example, you could play this game in your house. So you could be looking at things and give it two different names. Now, what about this one? This is, you probably know, it's a macaw parrot or a parrot. But what if we didn't have a name for it already? What else in the world is that color, for example? Good. So the raspberry parrot. Good. Or the blushing parrot. Good. It looks like it's blushing. Good. Or what about around the eyes? The peach-eyed parrot. Maybe. Good. All right, let's try one more. We'll try an animal. Oh, this has to go this way. What do we got there? Ooh, oh no, it probably goes like that. Yeah. Now you might know what this is, but let's say you don't. So the golden snake, that's a good description of it, but what else looks that color? The golden sunset snake? The golden pineapple snake. Oh, it looks a lot like a pineapple. That's a good one. Okay, so today it's really easy what you're going to do in terms of your poem. I'm going to suggest you just write at the top of your paper, I look into the world and see. And that's all you're going to write for what I'm giving you. And then you're going to walk around your house. You're going to look through books. You can go and look at your favorite animals online, any way you want to do this. And you're going to rename them so that you see two things at once. You see a zebra and a shell at once. You see an ice cream cone and a shell. You see, oh, look at this one. How about that? You see, oh, that reminds me of the ear of some animal, like maybe the rabbit ear shell. So you see the rabbit ear and the shell. So you're going to make a list. This is a list poem. You're going to make a list. I look into the world, your world. You could say into my world if you like, and see. And you're going to name everything with two different ideas put together. So we see two things, like we did with that very first poem, one thing turning in to another. Try it and send your poems to me. Subscribe to the channel and send me a poem. I'd love to see it. www.partoserena.com. See you soon.